Welcome to Popcorn Playback. Today I will show you a crime drama film from 2023 titled A Love Story from the Streets. Spoilers ahead. In an effort to survive dealing with a mother addicted to drugs, Kenya immerses herself in the secretive world of underground strip parties. Reno, local drug dealer, devises a plan to help both him and Kenya escape the dangerous street life. However, Rick opposes the idea, as he doesn't want his lucrative cocaine partnership to come to an end, especially after obtaining 2 kilos from Brick, the powerful New York kingpin. Kenya runs along the streets as she's chased by a masked man in a hoodie. Unfortunately, Kenya falls to the ground, allowing the masked man to catch up with her and pointing a gun at her. Kenya prepares for another photo shoot for her OnlyFans page in XXX office. Kenya narrates to the audience that she's getting good checks from the page, but her goal is to make $1 million before the end of the year. Kenya goes to explain the ordeal she faced together with her mom, Carla, in Detroit while growing up, as she takes the viewers to a flashback. In the flashback, a young Kenya tells her mom she needs a new top and complains that she has been wearing her old one since last year. Her mother responds that she will get new ones for her when she gets a new job. Young Kenya then complains to her mom that they keep teasing her at school, calling her a welfare baby. Her mom flares up for a moment before gaining her composure back, instructing young Kenya to attend to her homework. Kenya's mom offers smoking Frank a drink as the two engages in a sexual activity in the sitting room. Young Kenya walks towards the sitting room but suddenly halts in shock seeing her mom and Frank in the act. Away from the young Kenya flashback, Kenya laments to Ollie in the eatery about some customer's attitude, but Ollie tells her if she wants the job, she will need to do what he asks as he is the boss. Moments later, Kenya peeps far away at 2 black dudes entering the eatery, going ahead to welcome them and offering water. Kenya shows them the menu list. One of the dude queries if she is Karen's daughter, and Kenya replied she is. Kenya asks the dude who doesn't know her mom, and he responds everyone knows her fine mom. Reno, who has been on phone, makes his order on the menu list, as Kenya texts him likewise. G informs Kenya he would like to have titties milk as drink, but Kenya softly ignores him. Kenya walks away before the other dude compliments her ass. G shows the other dude her IG page, and Reno asks him where he knows Kenya from. After some few minutes, G walks out of the eatery. Reno starts conversing with Kenya and invites her to a stripper's party. Kenya cuts in saying she's not a stripper and neither a whore. Reno shows Kenya her IG page, but to her surprise, she replies her dances are for fun and she has never thought of doing it for money. Reno tries to convince her she can start dancing for money. Kenya thanks him saying the offer wasn't for her. Reno brings out dollars from within stylishly, flaunting it at her while tipping her with some amount before stepping out of the eatery. Kenya gets home late in the night and asks Carla why the house has no power after giving her the money to pay the bills. Carla replied she guessed she forgot too. Kenya calls Brandy and tells him she's not feeling good as a result of her mom's refusal to pay the electricity bill. Kenya asks Brandy to borrow him $250 until next week for her to pay the bills, but Brandy replies he has no money till the next morning. The following morning, Brandy appears at Kenya's door. Kenya opens the door, letting him in, while he questions her if her mom was around. Brandy brings out $40 from his pocket to give to Kenya. Kenya informs him with a sad face the money is not enough to pay the bill. Kenya borrowed Randy's phone to call the power company for a plan, but it didn't work out. Kenya requests Brandy to hire her the $40. Brandy tries to kiss Kenya, but she turns him down, as she is not in the mood. Kenya informs Brandy he has been all over her for a year to be sex buddies, but she is not giving herself out on demand to sex buddies, but only her man. Kenya stresses Brandy will only get sex from her when he commits. Brandy tells Kenya if she will need to use her ass to get his $40 while spanking her ass. Kenya yells at him to get out of her house. Back at the restaurant, Kenya plugs her dead phone to charge. Ollie enters and asks Kenya why she is at the restaurant. Kenya responds she has a little financial situation and if she can get a loan from him to take from her next check, but Ollie refuses. Left with no other option, Kenya decides to put a call through to Reno and tells him she will be coming to the dance party the next day. Reno, noticing Kenya's anxiety, queries if she is okay, and Kenya replies she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. Reno engages her in the dance rules and processes as they drive across the streets before pulling up. At the strip club, a stripper, Candy welcomes Kenya to join the club. Judging by the look in Kenya's face, Candy asks Kenya if she is sick, but Kenya replies she is only nervous as it is her first time off dancing. Candy laughs hard as she calls her a newbie. Candy tells her to roll with her so they make much money together. Candy advises Kenya to get a dance name, but Kenya requests she gives her one. Candy gives her combo cutie and Kenya agrees with the name. Reno comes inside to call Candy and Kenya. It is time for the dance. Kenya wakes up the next morning feeling a headache with Reno next to her. Kenya tries to reflect back on what happened to her last night. Kenya recalls her first lap dance with a rich dude and her dance together with Candy before remembering her morning jumping out of the bed into the bathroom to throw up. Reno wakes up following her to the bathroom and offers to clean her up. Reno drops Kenya at her house while Kenya queries if he had sex with her last night. Reno answers he is not a rapist and does not take advantage of drunk girls. Reno implores she should get some rest. Kenya enters her room and counts $2,500 as her last night's money. Kenya happily speaks to herself she's going for shopping. Moments later, Kenya calls Reno thanking him for keeping her money. Kenya tells Reno they meet for dinner at night with bills on her. Reno and Kenya discuss in the car after dinner. Kenya asks Reno what his future plans are, but he answered he is busy planning for today, so he does not know the future. Kenya encourages him to start planning with Reno, thanking her for her advice. Reno furtherly explains to Kenya he is in the street, but Kenya replies she knows. Reno receives a business call and tells Kenya he will be dropping her off. Kenya refuses as she is not ready to go home and does not mind riding with him. Kenya kisses Reno, telling him she is not ready to end the night. Meanwhile, Reno catches up with his business partners on the roadside while Kenya stays in the car. Reno gets a cocaine to sell, then he heads back to his car. Reno gets frightened as he sees a police patrol trailing him. Terrified he has cocaine with them, Kenya tells Reno to give her the cocaine to hide as an officer walks towards them. The officer questions them for a while before instructing them to get out of the car as she smells liquor in Reno's breath. The officer handcuffs Reno and commands him to take a sit while the officer turns to Kenya instructing her to stretch her legs on standing. The officer proceeds in searching the inside of the car, clearing it clean before releasing the handcuffs on Reno and giving them a pass. Reno and Kenya gets back inside the car. Reno asks her for the cocaine and she takes it out from her undies where she hid it. Reno drops Kenya back at her home while Rick calls him to show up at the stash house for some serious business. At the other end, Kenya meets her mother at the sitting room smoking as her mother queries where she has been. Her mother furtherly questions Kenya where she got the money for the roses in the fridge and the new clothes she wear, but she answers saying she works for it. Reno gets to the stash house asking Rick what was going on, and Rick narrates about how the dude tied up is trying to claim their spots. Rick hits the dude hardly to confess, but Reno calls him he wants to see him away from the scene for a few seconds. Reno tries to advise Rick to be calm so they do not start a gang war. Rick agrees with Reno, initially before shooting the dude after provoking him. In the meantime, Rick calls Reno for a business meetup, but Reno declines, saying he won't be available. Reno and Kenya go some shopping, but Reno decides to visit the bathroom for a moment. At the bathroom, a dude gives Reno a compliment for his wristwatch and neck chain. Reno tries to confront the dude, but he affirms he meant no disrespecting him. The dude gives Reno his business card and instructs him to call him anytime he is ready to make huge money. Kenya heads on her way out to meet Reno for an appointment, but she gets stopped by her mom. Her mom informs her she knows about the dance party and what she does for a living, but she is disappointed in her. Kenya shrugs her mom off, leaving the house to meet Reno, who was waiting outside to pick her mom. Reno and Kenya both arrive in the club, only to see two police patrol parked outside the club. As Reno gets worried, he and Rick keeps a couple of pistols in there. Meanwhile, the 7 Miles gang parks outside the stash house before they start to fire at Rick and Reno as the two exits the stash house. Rick and Reno take some cover with their vehicle as Rick fires back at them, but the gang escaped. Reno barges into his house eagerly to pick up a gun while Kenya was waiting for him to arrive. Kenya questions him why he is angry, and he replies he has been caught up in a street gang war with the 7 Miles gang. Kenya calms him down and checks his body if he got shot unknowingly. Reno explains Rick saved his life, and he was also the one responsible for the incident by killing a member of the 7 Miles gang. Kenya hugs him, and Reno informs her they will need to get out of the city. The next day, Reno visits Daryl's at his office for an investment. Daryl's then explains the investment process to him. Rick tells G he will be cutting out Reno with some keys of drug to give to him, and tells G to keep the new level on a low without saying a word of it to Reno. Jane calls a hitman so they both rob G's stash house, after G revealing to her he has new keys to sell. Back to Daryl's office, Reno signs a mortgage investment as instructed by a real estate agent. Daryl brings out a drink to toast to Reno's new investment. At the other end, the hitman attacks the stash house, killing one dude but the other dude hid from him. The hitman packs the cash and cocaine, escaping as the hiding dude fires at him. Reno informs Kenya about the new mortgage investment he had just acquired, and she tells him it's a nice investment. Kenya tells Reno about her plans to start an OnlyFans page. Reno agrees with her, but she will only have to do that if she won't be going nude. At the other end, G tells Brick he has been robbed the 2 kilos of junk he was given to sell. A furious Brick threatens to kill him, as Brick will be after their life. Reno informs Brick he wants out of the street life, but Brick disagrees with him, telling him that he won't be leaving. Reno tells Kenya about his plan to rob Brick, a powerful drug kingpin. He believes that if they can pull off the robbery, they will have enough money to start a new life together. Kenya and Reno carries out the plan and rob Brick. They make off with a large sum of money, but they are not out of danger yet. Brick fears that he has been robbed and has sent his men after Kenya and Reno. Kenya and Reno are on the run. They are hiding out in a motel, trying to stay one step ahead of Brick's men. They are exhausted and scared, but they are determined to make it out alive. Reno gets caught by the police. He is arrested and taken to jail. Reno's facing serious charges, but both him and Kenya are determined to fight for their freedom. Reno go on trial. His lawyer argued that he was forced to rob Brick because he was being threatened by Brick. The jury finds him guilty, but he is given a light sentence because of their circumstances. A masked man runs after Kenya pointing a gun at her, but she is rescued by the police. Kenya takes up Reno's picture in her room, appreciating him, and then the movie ends. Okay, that's all for the recap for A Love Story from the Streets. Thank you for watching.